We love NYC. We love NYC. We love NYC.
It works. It fucking works, dude. It's a great chant. 3, 2, 1. Kevin, what are you looking at?
I don't know.
You got distracted.
Spacing out.
Hey, welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Kevin was in Vegas. We will break that down at another time because today we have to do an emergency podcast.
Emergency, yeah, it's the first one ever.
The 1 week that you leave and we had a pre-recorded podcast, the biggest story in the history of design comes out, Kevin.
The biggest story in the history of New York.
This is what happens when you go on vacation, Kevin. You can't leave.
I can never go on vacation ever again.
Absolutely not. This is like, talk about timing, the worst possible timing.
I know. After I just said vacation shaming in 2023 is out, I deserve to be vacation shamed because it was such a poorly timed vacation on my part. And I just needed to be here for the content. And I feel like I let everybody down. So.
Well, here's the thing, Kevin. This is an apology, but this is an emergency podcast.
Oh, you think I'm apologizing?
That felt like an apology.
Oh, no, I was not being sincere.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we're doing it now. It's fine.
Yeah. So we had to do an emergency podcast. I guess this will come out at some point this week. And we had to jump onto this.
If we keep it tight enough, it can come out today.
Wow. Well, hopefully that happens. But, this is why we podcast, Kevin. This is why we play the game. This is why we do it. It's stories like this, design, breaking news, and things in the design community that burst out of the blogs and the internet into mainstream pop culture. Yeah,
this is literally the reason why we did this.
Yes, and this is obviously we're talking about We Heart NYC. This has been the craziest 48 hours I've seen about a design story in a really long time. I think the internet exploded starting, what was that, Monday morning when they had the sort of the mayor and sort of the labor and community leaders.
Is that when it started? I was I was MIA. I was doing community service in Vegas.
Yeah, you were. So they had a big press conference in Times Square. It was Monday morning, and they introduced a new campaign to showcase the city's strengths, to mobilize New Yorkers to make sure that we remain the greatest city in the world. And the campaign had a sort of a Broadway performance, and it introduced a new tagline. Kevin.
It had a Broadway performance?
Yeah. New York, New York.
Wow.
Performed in Times Square with a brand new campaign titled We Heart NYC. So I have some quotes here from Mayor Adams. Quote, "The city overcame the darkest days of the pandemic because of the selfless work of everyday New Yorkers. And if each of us gives 1 hour a week in an act of service, the result will be transformative. That is why I'm proud to announce the launch of We Heart NYC in partnership with Governor Hochul and partnership of New York City. The We Heart New York City campaign asks everyone who loves the greatest city in the world to show it by lending a helping hand and spreading that love to every block across all 5 boroughs."
I mean, that's pretty cool. Like that, we definitely need more people to be doing stuff. Like, if people spend an hour a week picking up trash.
Yeah.
It'd be a better place.
It's a call to action, I think.
CTA.
It is a marketing campaign created by a marketing alliance. That's all that. Yeah, that's what they said.
They brought out the alliance to do this.
Yeah, I think 2 things about the marketing alliance. One, it sounds sick. Like marketing alliance, undoubtedly, I'm like, those guys are fucking shit up, and that's exactly what they did. I think they may have hired a marketing alliance when a design alliance was what they needed.
That's fact.
But this is what they decided to do. Quote, "New York City's secret sauce has always been the ability of our diverse communities to work together to solve problems and navigate change. The broad spectrum of organizations that are lining up to support the We Heart New York City campaign demonstrates once again how our city diversity makes it strong." So they have a lot of actual charities. They have a lot of companies. This is not just a poster. This is a campaign, a movement, and a way to bring economic health back to New York City. Obviously, COVID made a big change in our city, and you can kind of feel it. It's a little quiet at times. I think some of the energy that you distinctly think of as New York has been a little slow and a little bit lower down since COVID. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
So I understand that New York City is facing some tough times. And so what do? You need to get the people going.
Yeah, you need to mobilize free volunteer labor.
Obviously, New York has one of the most iconic campaigns of all time. It's I Love New York. And it was introduced in 1977 in the midst of an urban crisis. And the aim of that campaign was to sort of reignite the optimism of New Yorkers, to mobilize and to volunteer to create a sort of better city.
Well, you know what they say, Alex?
Yes.
We is greater than me.
That's why they've introduced We Love New York City, a 21st century version of the 70s campaign. And New Yorkers are coming together to mobilize civic action and community engagement as the catalyst for a renaissance of the city and its neighborhoods.
It's very funny because when you just said New Yorkers are mobilizing, the only mobilizing I really saw was everybody jumping on Twitter and Instagram to be like, fuck this shit.
Wait, what? People don't like this logo? Wait, so together we, all caps, can tackle these changes and challenges and demonstrate once again that this is the greatest city in the world.
Mission accomplished. They inspired community bonding.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen so many people aligned about something in New York than I did about fuck this logo.
Yeah. So here's what happened next. Mayhem. Chaos in the streets. Kevin, you were in Vegas, so you weren't here, but yeah, people were banging pots and pans. There were people honking on the horns. Everyone in New York was going crazy because this logo sucks. Everyone was angry. Everyone is up in arms. I think the press conference was like 9:30 a.m. or something. It was by 10 o'clock. It was already like spreading like wildfire around the internet. This was like the quickest and easiest punching bag I've ever seen in my life.
You know, sorry, this is a Miami reference, but it's like Dwayne Wade, open path to the basket, just throwing it up to LeBron James and then standing and going like this. We are all LeBron James this week.
It was the easiest layup of all time. It was the biggest.
Not a layup. Not a layup.
An alley-oop.
A fucking dunk.
Yeah. It was open court and the ball was bounced off the backboard and we're all LeBron James.
Yeah, and we're pumping it. We're maybe even fucking tomahawking it.
Yeah.
Maybe get a windmill in there. Who knows? Swag it out.
And I think, again, there's been a lot of criticism of this logo. We're not going to spend our entire podcast criticizing this thing.
We're not going to be Twitter comment section IRL.
Yes.
This podcast. Usually, sure.
Yes.
But there is no need for us to pile on and be negative about this because, you know, everybody else has already done that.
Correct. I do have a couple critiques.
Yeah, go off.
Okay, really quickly. The stacked logo is a little rough.
Yeah.
I think there's a more horizontal version that I find to be much more appealing, but the stacked logo is a real tricky one, especially when you put it next to the original logo, which stacked is sort of the more iconic one, even though the original logo came both in sort of horizontal and vertical. That one's really, really tough. Obviously, if you're going to mess with an iconic mark, you're going to get criticism. You just are. Everyone knows that. By touching this thing, you're already opening up a can of worms. So you got to get every single little thing perfect. And honestly, they definitely dropped the ball on that particular sort of execution. And I think it's hard to defend. Hard to defend is the secondary fucking typeface. Nobody's talking about the secondary typeface.
I didn't even see it. Where is it?
It's in all the billboards. It's on all the ads. It's in everything. It's sort of the typeface that supports the logo and sort of is the main headline font. And it is literally so bad. It's hard to read at times. It doesn't look elegant or beautiful. And the A in it is fucking atrocious.
Do you have it on your screen right now?
Yeah, I can
Can
show
you
it
just flip
to you.
it around?
Yeah. Hold on. I'll show it to you. I think the place where the secondary website looks the absolute worst,
secondary typeface,
is on the actual website itself. If you go to We Heart NYC, like this thing, like where it says Anthony Edwards, it's like super tight, but like this A has this like little like jutted left thing, and it just is like kind of squared off. It's just so atrocious.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense for what they even laid out. Like just let that main typeface rock.
Yeah, again, and the main logo is like quite bold. I think that was a big decision that they made to obviously change the typewriter font to sort of something a little bit more sans serif, and it's already quite a bold mark. Now they certainly made it much bolder. So to bring in a secondary typeface that's equally as bold or bolder, and it's just so bad. And again, I think the biggest criticism that I've heard is there's so many designers in the city. There's so many studios. There's so many branding companies.
There's
like
so
ourselves.
many designer alliances.
There's so
in
many
this city.
designers that would have created a incredible alliance that would have done this work for free and that would have happily jumped in.
Whoa. I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
No work gets done for free.
If someone had come to us, I'll be honest, and said, hey, we're thinking about reinterpreting, doing an homage to Milton Glazer's famous I Love New York logo, are you interested in sort of helping out? I think I would have been scared, of course, but I would have been happy to sort of be a part of it. And again, no one asked me. I'm not saying that they should have. I'm just saying that, like, I think a lot of designers, because of how important that mark is, how important Milton Glaser is, how iconic I Love New York, the campaign is, would have happily gotten involved.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
all I'm saying.
I think I could have personally donated 1 hour a week to it.
Yeah, that's good of you, Kevin. I think that feels
That's
like
all Eric Adams is asking for. 1 hour a week.
That's it. 1 hour a week. I will say, Kevin, the copywriting, I think you would have done a bang up job on this brief. I do believe that. And I think, again, like, the way that I'm seeing it is a marketing campaign. Like, yes, people are criticizing the logo and the design of the logo and the mark itself, but it is part of a bigger campaign. And so, Kevin, that's why we absolutely need to get into why this is working.
All right. I'm going to lead it off here.
Yeah, Kevin.
Pro, it rhymes. We Heart NYC.
We Heart NYC.
Rolls off the tongue. It's great mouthfeel.
Beautiful.
Very catchy. So, love that.
Could you picture people chanting this at, like, a Knicks game, a Knicks playoff game, a Knicks playoff win?
Yeah, NBA Finals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at the NBA Finals in Madison Square Garden.
Picture this. It's June. The Knicks win Game 7. Oh. Everybody's out in the street chanting,
Game 7.
We love NYC. We love NYC.
I mean, yeah, that's great.
I can picture this happening because I think it is going to happen.
Yeah.
We're on Knicks watch, too. So shout out them.
Yeah, shout out to the Knicks.
Another pro is they don't even use typewriters anymore. So why would we keep using a typewriter typeface? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
When was the last time you saw a fucking typewriter?
I hardly even know her.
Yeah, come on, get out of here. Kevin, I got to go back to the We Love NYC chant, which is, you can't chant I love NY. Like, that's a very selfish, very sort of singular chant. We love NYC. That's a community building thing. That's we are a group. We are a collective. We are New York.
We is greater than me.
We can all sort of criticize the logo, but, like, changing we to I, that's just strong. That's just good. That's just good branding.
It's good campaign thinking. Like, sincerely.
Yeah, sincerely. Yeah. It's a great chant. Kevin, I'm going to also chime in here. Again, there's never been more attention, conversation, press, media around a New York City initiative than this one. Honestly, I've seen a lot of the sort of we did it better the redesigns.
Absolutely. Everybody's hopping on that.
Everyone's jumping on that. Shout out to Rich too. He did a great one.
He did a great one, yeah.
He even threw in like 10 to 12 options. He went hard and sort of went fully nuclear trying to create a better logo. And again, all those logos you could argue are better.
Absolutely. They are all better.
Would any of those logos gotten more attention than the one that they rolled out?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Do you think they potentially maybe knew that going into this?
I don't want to claim that they purposely made this logo bad to get people's attention. But if they did, it's fucking genius.
They did a great job.
They did an amazing job.
Nothing brings New Yorkers together like hating something. The mayor, everybody hates the mayor.
Yep.
And everybody can unite and say, oh, fuck that person.
James Dolan. We fucking hate James Dolan.
New York loves to hate things.
Yeah.
And it's great. We can rally around it and, come together and say, yeah, fuck this logo.
Yes.
Like, we all hate it. And now we're all aligned. We're hand in hand. We're chanting, we hate this logo, but we love NYC.
Yeah. And I think, again, if the goal of this was to make people pay attention, this is the most successful design of the year, maybe of the decade.
It's all about eyes. It always has been, always will be.
Because we're getting articles in New York Times, fucking New York Mag, The Cut, Washington Post. This has become a national, global story. And honestly, there's just no way this gets this much attention if it is sort of a better designed logo. Also, my non-design friends know who Milton Glaser is. They're reading, they're like, oh, what's up with that logo? It's getting people involved in design that maybe don't really think about design on a regular basis.
Good for Milton Glazer's estate,
Mhm.
possibly.
Yeah.
I heard he's got a book coming out this week.
Yeah, he's got a book coming out this month. This has got to be good for sales. I didn't know Milton Glaser had a book coming out. He's my favorite graphic designer of all time.
Hey, if you loved the old We Heart New York logo, why don't you check out this cool book about the guy who made it?
Yeah, honestly, it's really, really good for Milton Glaser. Shout out to the Washington Post who called him Milton Glaze. That's just funny.
Yeah, they're fucking the Washington Post. They're not from New York. Come on.
Milton Glaze, though, a tremendous name for a New York donut shop.
Design Donut Shop. Which
What else, Kevin? Why is this logo so good?
Another pro is the motion system. Feels like a slot machine, which is a nod to gambling.
Yes.
And you know I like gambling.
Yeah. New York City just legalized gambling, which is going to stimulate the economy. This makes me want to go and play some slots.
Let's go gamble in Queens. I don't know where the casino is, but there is one.
I think. Who knows? It makes me want to Google where's the closest slot machine.
I think there's one in like South Brooklyn because I did see a headline this year about a woman who won big on a slot machine, and then they said it malfunctioned and they didn't give her any money.
Gambling is now a part of our life.
Yeah,
And
that stimulates the economy. That's big for the economy.
yeah, it's really, really great, Kevin. And I will say that slot machine sort of motion graphic, it's a little clunky.
Hey, so are slot machines.
So are slot machines. Also, the emoji-ness of this identity, I've typed it out into my phone a couple times. So like write notes or text. And it's really easy to write out because obviously the heart emoji is often used emoji in my phone. So I can just use We Heart NYC. And guess what? It works pretty well. That's why people use emojis, is because we're already using them in our everyday language. So to be able to create this on your own, yeah, it's really easy. And kids love emojis, Kevin.
Kids love emojis. This is a campaign that was trying to reach a Gen Z audience, and they did a good job by using emojis.
Yeah, it's very internet friendly. As you mentioned, when was the last time anyone used a typewriter? Get that shit out of here. Oh, another reason why it's good, it's super memeable, right? Like it's so simple and so, obviously generic that you'd be like, oh, why even do this? But on the contrary, you can kind of flip it and make your own versions of it. Dan Casaro absolutely crushed this on Twitter. He created like incredible sort of parodies. I'm Italian with a pizza emoji. We got hot dogs with the hot dog emoji. Let's Liberty. So, I think Drake taught us this. If you can make your album art or make something so simple that anyone can kind of take it and run with it, drives attention and makes it sort of engaging and makes people actually want to sort of, get involved.
Yeah. And if we had to move past from Milton Glazer's nice I Heart New York lockup, the consolation prize of getting all this awesome fire content. Shout out Dan Casaro for the fire ass tweet. I think it probably is worth it. I love content.
Yeah, we all love content.
We love content.
We love content. We're making content right now. We created a meme. Shout out to me. It gained us hundreds of followers. So we have all these new listeners.
So
to front and
that's
center.
a positive.
This is working well for us. We have a design-based podcast. Now we have the hottest thing in the world to talk about. We had to record an emergency pod. This is
best
good.
Campaign ever.
Yes. Obviously. Oh, Kevin, we forgot to mention the campaign We Heart NYC has a poster contest. Designers love doing posters for free. Designers love to do free design. That's something that we can all get involved. We love that.
Alex walked in this morning and said, everybody make a poster. Forget all the work we have to do today. We're making We Heart NYC posters.
That's right.
Mine's going to say, We Heart stepping in a fresh pile of dog shit.
Kevin, I'd love to see what you could do with this campaign because honestly, the copy is not that bad. They have some really relatable moments.
Yeah, situational, relatable copy.
What's the one about sort of like hate is not tolerated here except for the Boston Red Sox fans? Yeah, it's like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, fuck
so
the Red
funny.
Sox.
Yeah, fuck the Red Sox. We all hate them.
Also, fuck the Phillies.
The city where like a driver's license is used for everything but driving. I don't have a car.
Yeah, people love walkable cities. Walkable cities is like the biggest trend on social media these days.
The copy is genuinely not that bad. Actually, I'd say it's great.
They could have done a worse job. I like how it promotes hustle culture.
Yeah.
What's the line like?
Doers.
We don't move out, we move up.
Celebrate doers. Yeah, I mean, listen, no one wants to fucking work these days. Everyone's lazy.
Yeah.
Come on, New York City's a city of doers.
We love to hustle.
Yes. Individuals and groups take action and help their neighbors in their cities. We're still emerging from this pandemic into a new digital world. Our future will be determined by the actions of doers who step up to solve problems, to start businesses, to help those in need. Government cannot do the job alone. Join us in celebrating the doers and tell us about a doer you know with the link below. Kevin, I'm going to submit you.
I'm a doer.
You are a fucking doer. Yeah, you're a huge doer.
Yeah, damn. If I made the We Love NYC list of doers, would that make me a New Yorker?
Oh, that would make you huge. That would catapult you to New York status.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, question. Another thing I love about this website, it really has that New York City attitude.
It says, quote, forget about it.
No, it says, you love NYC, then do something.
That's good copy.
Yeah, that's something that you would hear like at a bodega or in the streets.
Yeah,
it's like,
do something.
Yeah, do something. You know,
promoting action.
It's got promoting action, trying to get people involved. Because if you say, "Hey, please help us. We need a little bit of help from the New Yorkers," we're not going to do it. So you got to yell at us. You got to tell us like, do something.
You got us fired up and united.
Yes,
based on hating this.
That's right.
And now you're telling us to do something.
Honestly,
that's fucking New York.
We are all together. We all hate this logo. We're all upset. But that is what is bringing us together. That is about community. That is about sort of togetherness. And you know what? As you said, Kevin, New York, we can all agree we love to hate.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And this logo does that perfectly.
Yes. And on a genuine note, I think it's hard to be mad at like a community engagement campaign.
That's right.
That is focusing on like small business and community members who are doing their part to make this place a better, place to live.
The greatest city in the world.
Greatest city in the world, yeah.
And another thing, don't dox the person who designed this. Like, I think that is actually really makes me upset. Like,
have they been doxed?
They have. And I'm not going to name the person's name, but I saw some people like legitimately going, like trying to find out who the person was because they kept this thing under the marketing alliance. And then people were doing some sleuthing and they found the guy who actually made this logo and they were fucking like being super cruel to that. That's fucked up. Don't be that.
Let's all chill out.
Yeah.
Let's relax. Go. Everybody go out and touch, all the New Yorkers out there, go outside and touch some concrete.
Yeah. It's spring. It's a beautiful day here in New York City. Get out there and like go for a walk, breathe in the air, calm down.
Go breathe in some exhaust. Let's just keep all this like internet hate. Let's keep it on the internet and let's not like make this designer's life hell because it probably is a shitty time to be that person who, we don't know the team dynamic. Like it's, you can't really pin design on one singular person. Like there's a team behind it. They're probably listening to other people. They're listening to like
feedback.
The city. There's a lot of hands in this. It's not one singular person's like, fault or like, it's not on him. So like, don't go after him and like, it probably sucks.
Him or try to call him out and try to like, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Like,
you wouldn't like it if somebody got online and was like, oh, this work sucks.
He's the guy who did this.
Fuck this person. Like we hate this person now. Like they shouldn't work anymore. It's like, no, just like chill out.
Yeah. Relax.
We can all come together and hate this logo. We can talk shit about this logo endlessly.
Yes.
That's what New York's about.
Yes.
And let's leave it at the logo. Say what you want about like local government, but like take that person, the designer who did this, out of the equation. Don't drag them into this.
Obviously, there's a lot to criticize and critique, but just think about the person, think about the human, and think about sort of, think about the humanity here. And like, I genuinely, another thing that I think is worth noting, this logo is not replacing I Love New York. It is just it's an homage to it. It's a sort of like reinterpretation of it. I Love New York isn't going away. It's not like they're not going to use that. It's not like they're going to stop selling them on Canal Street t-shirts. Like it is an iconic mark of New York and will stay there forever. This is another interpretation of it. It's a new campaign about the city. It's, it's different and it's not a rebrand. I think everyone is sort of misinterpreting this as like Milton Glazer's iconic logo is out and this one's in. It's like, that's not what's happening. This is a new sort of initiative for a post-COVID New York City. And this is a campaign to try to bring attention and to try to get people to engage and to galvanize the people and to get them involved. And for that, this logo is incredibly effective.
Milton Glaze is rolling over in his grave.
Yeah, honestly, again, I think this has been a really funny week. Obviously, there's been lots and lots written about this. People are comparing it to Tropicana, they're comparing it to The Gap, and I think I saw some people even saying like, "Oh man, with all this criticism, they're gonna have no choice but to go back." And it's like, calm down, guys.
They don't care. They're not reading your tweets.
Yeah, they're not. And to be honest, now when I see this thing around on the subways or I see this thing out in the streets, it gives me a bit of a chuckle. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm warming up to it and I think I really like it. And I actually went online to see if they were selling any shirts, or a hoodie. Because I think, Kevin, let's be the first people to say, we stand by this logo. Yeah. We are in favor of it. History will show that Kevin and Alex, we were the first.
Yeah. Is this our most based pod ever? I feel
good.
I feel clean. I
feel good. This is this is a call to action.
The boys being positive.
Yeah. This is a positive message from Front and Center. And I think, honestly, it feels good to be positive.
Yes.
It's easy to hate, but it only takes you down as well. And I think to stay positive and to see the light in design, wherever it is a good thing for all of us. And you know what? We can all learn a little bit about this. Yes. And next time another brand comes out with a logo or a thing that we hate, don't go find the designer or go on your crazy, on your timeline and sort of say, who the fuck did this? Who had the nerve? Like, stop it. Think and calm down. Too. Yeah. And design nerds being mad. That's just funny.
That's the biggest pro of this whole thing. And
people be mad.
The content plus all these nerds being mad. And sure, I was a little actually, to be honest, I never really cared that much.
I don't think you cared. Yeah.
I was about to lie there.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that old Mark's cool. But at the end of the day,
yes,
we're galvanized by love.
Yes. And we heart NYC.
We heart NYC.
We heart NYC. We heart NYC. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.